Great day, great day, great day, family of one. And I say family of one because it's only one source, and it's not in the universe, it's within you. There's only one source that you're connected to, and that is the all that you already are. You don't have to do anything, you don't have to be anything, you don't have to ascribe to anything, you don't have to do anything but experience the presence of the all that is every time you are, wherever you are, in any shape you are in, good, bad, right, wrong, indifferent or not. That's all you have to do is live your life. Once again, this is King James, aka your host, AVOC, a voice of consciousness, and I say that I am the all that is, as I am right where I am, divine. So what I am is divine, who I am is divine, what I am is divinity in motion. This is the reality and the truth that I live. Now, however, everyone has their own choices, everyone makes their own path, because there's a gazillion pathways to wherever it is that you're wanting to go, which is always home. We're always on our way home. We're always going, circling back to go home. It's always about going home. So where you began, that's where you'll end and begin again. So that's the cycle of divinity. It's never ending. There's no limits. However, we've been conditioned, programmed, and put in a system. Well, we haven't been put in the system. We have chosen to participate in a environment that is most conducive for our imaginations, for our experiences to know thyself. So what happens is we are the all that is experiencing itself through the all there is. The blades of grass, the birds and trees, the bugs that crawl, the animals, the wind that blows, everything is the presence of the all that is, and it is experiencing itself through the all that is, being the all there is at the same time. See, that's the other side of it. Now, I have to say that I am not one to put on a salesman's hat or capitalize on this or monetize this. I mean, you know, I may at some point monetize if I get enough people. I would imagine I will. However, that's not the primary goal. The primary goal and the primary impetus for me broadcasting, if you will, is to generate energetic resonance around my perception that is commensurate with alignment, with aligning myself or aligning with self to bridge with the all, as I am all, as you are all, as we all are experiencing the all on whatever level. There's no hierarchy in the divine presence of the all that is. All there is the all there is. There's no, the consciousness is the medium by which the all that is expresses itself in the varying forms of, well, we identify and we make, we give it identity, we identify it as something this or that, but the immediate moment that you identify a thing, the minute you identify or define a thing, you limit its perspective, you limit what is possible. That thing is infinite possibility, And the minute you put it in this box, you limit its activity, its meaning, its infinite presence. You limit that by trying to define it to be something that you can wrap your heads around. Case in point, God. Man has anthropomorphically presented a deity with characteristics of man, which in fact limits and minimizes the true essence of the all there is. The all there is being all there is, not a color or a particular being or a specific this or a specific that. It's everything, because everything has what? Has yin and yang. So everything has that presence. Everything that has presence has yin and yang. All yin and yang is not a duality, not a dualism, not a competition, not a presence that is competing for your approval type of thing. It is a mirror reflecting where you are, how you understand, understand, and overstand your present presence, your presence as your present to this time. Well, I won't say time because time doesn't really exist. Your presence to the present dispensation of the reality that you choose. Because let's understand that there is a quantum field of possibilities. That quantum field of possibilities is what they call, they talk about timelines. And those timelines are choices that you make that take you down a path or up a path or on a road or across a bridge. These are what they call timelines, because your choices takes you to an increasing, ever expanding experience around the idea of who and what you are. And who and what you are is you are divine. Divinity has no boundaries. So what you are, who you are is divine, what you are is divinity in motion. So in motion, emotion, everything is connected. Excuse me, everything is connected. So we must live in the presence of the reality and the truth of what we know. Talking about what you think and how you feel, and you hope and you believe because you don't know. And you believe because you've accepted what someone else has told you. When you know, you don't have to believe. There's no need to believe when you know. And then when you know, as you know, because you know, you walk in that presence of knowing. This is the presence and the reality of the truth that we live. However, everybody's not embracing it because they're not sure. They're not confident. They don't think that it exists, but they're afraid. And that's the biggest part of what has happened to our memory. Many have forgotten because they've got what is called a transplant of what they are and what they know they are has been supplanted and transplanted to a belief, an idea that someone else has imposed upon you through fear and other mechanisms to take you off your square, so to speak, to get you away from the center. Because it's not really, no one can take anything from you. No one can do anything to you. You're infinitely eternal. You never die. You, the physical form that you're used to seeing may transition away, but the consciousness that's feeding into your avatar, that you process through whatever dimension you are able to maintain the frequency of, because that's what it's about. There's multiple dimensions at the same time in the same space right now, here and now. And depending on what level of frequency that you can handle, meaning what you can handle processing wise, because this is a super biocomputer. Your avatar is the highest level of technology ever. That's why all of what we're dealing with outside of ourselves is a direct reflection of what was taken from what we already are. All of the information, all of the data, all of the tools, all of the, and they are tools, all of the, excuse me, the technology that has been generated today and before today, yesterday, last year, whenever it was, is a direct reflection of what they call reverse engineering of your biochemical, biomagnetic self, the field that you are already. This meat suit that has all the sensors, to give you the um, illusion, to have an illusionary experience, to know based on a reflection. So all of what you ask for, all of what you're looking to do, all of what you're looking for, you already have. You already have. The problem is you've been shunned and pushed and pulled away from it perceptually, not physically, not actually, not in reality. However, the perception, the idea is that you're not the presence of the all being who you are, as you are, right where you are. One leg, no leg, half a leg, one eye, no eye, all eyes, money, no money. It doesn't matter. The all that is, the source of all there is what? Being all there is. It's experiencing all there is through all the mediums of everything that exists. So if you're afraid of your shadow, if you're afraid to go in the dark, if you're afraid to question, if you're afraid to, if you have fear in any way, then you limit your level of expansion to knowing yourself. So I do this because I know what I know. It's not about trying to prove. Um, I was going to do this every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and all that type of stuff, and it's like I have to do this as I am inspired. I can't just do it because it's, you know, it's about money or it's about proving something or it's more about being inspired, because the inspiration is genuine. When I do it, and so it's gonna touch the heart. The heart, when it's in your heart and you're genuinely authentic, then it touches the heart. The whole idea is to make the heartfelt connection, not just make the connection because I'm this or that, or I think I'm this or that, or I have this or that, or you should look at what I've done, and you know, because I've done a few things, but that's the past. None of that stuff matters right now in this present moment. None of that matters. You know, me doing the work as a vibrational shaman or an energetic minister. is what it is now. Being an author, I've written a book, I'm working on the second one. That's for some people stuff that means something. To me, it's just another form of expression, another way to allow myself to expand within knowing myself. That's really what it is. It's the experience that I'm having with me to know me better. And the sharing it is not so much as sharing it to try to train you, teach you, because you're a soul. Souls, well, for those of you that are souls, because some people are soulless. There are some entities, I should say, that are soulless. So this is important to them. But for those that have a soul, it touches the heart. They understand, overstand, understand. Then they process via the inspiration that tweaks it, fine tunes it within their own avatar. It's not about me telling you, showing you, giving you anything. No one has given us anything. No one's going to give you anything. Let's be clear on that. Why? The reason they're not going to, and when I say they, you know who I'm talking about. They're not going to give you anything. Why? Because they know who you are already. They know who you are already. They're not going to give you what they would deem an unfair advantage. Because if they gave you, that would be an unfair advantage because you already have it. You just don't know how to access it, or don't remember how to access it, I should say. You just don't remember how to access all that you already are, the fullness of yourself, you know. And so these type of communications that I share is merely to reinforce what's in me that I know, number one. And if someone, when someone, as someone participates, picks up, or is led to observe and auditorily perceive, then it may be spark, it may inspire, but what it will do is make them remember. That's what this is all about, is remembering, man. When you go to school and you study, and you studying for the test, what are you being tested on? Stuff that you have to remember. You don't know that stuff. The only way you know is you experience, and that's what we are. Divine beings have the experience to know. That's where we are now. In this time that we're in now, it's the experience is to know. It's not about guessing, hoping, wishing, and praying. We have intuition, we have clairvoyance. There's so many attributes to your divine essence that you can process organically when you remember, when you stop allowing yourself to be afraid, when you stop listening to those that mean you no good. They don't want to see you develop, harness, or do anything worthwhile, because then that means they'll have less to keep their processes going. They need you, you don't need them. And we know who they are. We're not here. Let me back up. Divinity is the all. That includes low frequency, high frequency, mid-range frequency, whatever. First dimension to 125th dimensions. It don't matter. What matters is the level of consciousness that you can maintain, the level of energetic resonance that you can maintain throughout whatever dimension you want to play on. This is a big, vast, infinite playground. Not to hurt, not to go out of your way, because that keeps you at a low level. If you're looking to hurt, harm, maim, mistreat, lie, do all of the, be immoral, then you're operating at a low frequency, and there's a place for that. A lady asked me Someone asked me the other day, is there a heaven and a hell? It's your perception. The heaven and there's no such physical place. However, your perception, the ideas that you generate within your avatar and process through your brain can limit you to a life of anguish and constant fear, being mad all the time, stress. That's hell. Living hell is that no peace. You can't find your center. You're not happy. You're constantly looking for something, don't know what it is, but you don't feel like you have it. That's a living hell. When you're out of balance, that's hell. That's the hell. The Bible don't speak supposedly, because again, it's allegory, but allegory for the sake of what? Turning you, having you to turn on, tune in, and turn up the frequency to balancing, finding or becoming or getting back to your center. Just like the pendulum swings back and forth, there's a midpoint between that swinging. When you're operating from that midpoint, you can pull in all of what is in the moment that is needed with a clarity that a clarity of knowing, with your confidence in knowing, with the steadfast sincerity, with the honesty, the processes that we operate from, dear hearts, the process that we operate from, divine ones, is unmatched. They can't touch you. There's nothing they can do, no matter what it is. Listen, just like if you have children or have had children, you want the best for them. You want to have them prepared as best as possible to deal with whatever comes their way. Now, it's going to be up to them to make their choices, of course. However, if you were there feeding, fueling, words, energetic presence, it don't always have to be the physical presence, but the generating of the energies around your thoughts that's being projected onto those children of yours is protection. And so you, the all that you already are, the seat of the soul you're sitting, you, the centered whole self, is centered, making decisions for your experiences to know to come back home, to double back or loop around to get back to yourself. So you can't lose. This is a fail-safe system. The system will not fail. It does not fail. Anything that happens is a process that is happening to put you in the position to attain, acquire, or be wherever it is that your heart's desire and your consciousness can, again, if you can maintain, generate enough energy, again, you have spinning vortexes of energy. Those are chakras. Each chakra serves a purpose, but they're all portals to the next level or to whatever level of dimensionality that you want to experience based on your imagination. So all of this stuff works together. Even if you don't understand it, it is working in your best interest. Because your best interest is what? To always come back home. And then once you get back home, you go venture out again and have another adventure, do another thing. But it's always about picking up nuggets along the way to help fill your pockets, or to help tighten up your belt, or to help give you the push to move on, to go further, to lead, to seek. But if you have fear, if you're always thinking you got to do better than the next person, if you always got this ego running things, because that's the other thing. We have automatic programs that's been running for eons. And the DNA that you, some of it's been inherited, some of it has been locked off rather, you haven't, it hasn't turned on. And it's based on the system, not the system of man, but the organic system. When the season comes, it'll activate. So people having to do this and follow this person and do this with that person and do these teachings and do what I told you to do. No, there is a process that is that's gonna sweep and touch everything and everyone. However, your presence, your understanding of the presence that you already are, if you're moving towards your center, this is going to come and sweep and take you right on through center. If you're moving away from your center, this is going to come, unless you've got a soul, it's going to come and take you and move you wherever it is you're trying to go. It's all about the intention of the heart. This is not you can't fail. You can be discouraged, you can be frustrated, you can be, you know, insecure. You can, it's a whole lot of things you can be, but you cannot fail. And so when you know, then you don't have, when you know, you tend to move with confidence. Like I say what I say because I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm talking about. I might not have all the little details and all of the seventh house and the this and the that, but I know all of it works together. And through my experiences, it has brought me to a place of resonance and knowing. And it's about sharing this to remind me, respectfully, the only ones that's going to get it is those that are seeking it. You don't get this haphazardly. It doesn't just fall in your lap. Your memory don't just return if you ain't trying to remember. If you don't want it, you're not going to get it. You don't get something you don't want. You get what you need. You get what you, everything that you get is because you desired, and it's for you. So if you don't have a soul, this ain't for you. No matter how simple I may speak, no matter how little I may present to you, and the blackboard, and we got this, let's put this on the board and show you, and I explain it in detail. I don't have to do that. It's not necessary. I mean, I can, and maybe one day I will. Who knows? I will also start to do more poetry. I will do, maybe I'll present some other data or information that supports what I know, to help. Because it's always perspective, other perspectives can assist in unlocking the memory for some. You know, it can be an inspiration, it can be a piece that is necessary for some. Some people sleep, but some things inspire him in such a way you can't sleep no more. You know, I just can't sleep. And it's like that's where I'm at this stage in my life, whereby um, my eyes have been forever wide open. There's no, I get rest. I get rest in the comfort of knowing I'm not stressing the decision I make or the decisions that I make or whatever I'm doing. I don't, there's no anxiety anymore. And it's a challenge sometimes because I can feel certain things rising up, and I have to be the arbiter of my own um, liberation. Because that's what we have to liberate ourselves. It's not about being free. You're free. It's about liberating yourself from whatever uh, whatever conditions, whatever programming that you've been indoctrination. That's we have to liberate ourselves from that. You can be free. Freedom is you be free to be conditioned, conditionally programmed. There's a freedom in that. There's a level of freedom. It's limited, but there's a level of freedom. When you are liberated, that's just liberation is infinitely eternal. You're not bound by anything, and that can be challenging when you've known nothing but, and you're afraid. That can be very challenging if you're afraid. And fear means you're operating from the lowest chakra, fight or flight, or that root chakra, which governs, a lot of how we've been indoctrinated. PTSD, through PTSD. That's where the fear comes in at, through the PTSD. I mean, the fear is a result. PTSD has come about because of the fear, you know, based on the traumas that we've all experienced. Nobody in the world, and I mean nobody, is trauma free. We all have had to come through the processes of being traumatized on some level. And to extricate yourself from that trauma or to liberate yourself from that trauma, you have to go 180 degrees from what you have experienced as a result of traumatization. Now, again, that's the process of divinity. Why? Because everything has to start off in a place to a point to be able to appreciate another place. So certain experiences have to happen. In order for you to know, you have to have the experience to know. That's why no one can give you anything. No one's going to. There's nothing that's going to say, there's no one coming to save you except yourself. And it is about liberating yourself from the processes of the thought or the programs that have been running on automatic. And the only way you can do that is you move like you really want to do it. You have to want to do it. You have to decide, hey, I don't want that no more. I smoked cigarettes from 14 till I was about 22, 23. But when I said I don't want it no more, I mean, I quit before, cold turkey, went back to it a year later. But again, when you make up your mind and you give all of the reasons why you should no longer do that thing that is killing you on some level, you know, could be mentally, it could be physically, it could be morally, it could be ethically, it could be spiritually, and it could be all levels psychologically. It could be on all levels. It's not doing you any good. When you come to terms with knowing that that has to go, you have to make some changes. You no longer want that, and you're honest, sincerely, authentically true to yourself and saying and that you know that, it'll change. Because that's what it's going to take. Your sincere, honest authenticity, because your heart is involved. It's about your heart. All of what's going on now is for your heart. Everything is to get your heart. Because your heart is what? The first cells to start to generate in the womb of the mother is 400,000 heart cells, or 40,000, some number of thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of heart cells that start to generate. That's the first thing that starts to grow in the womb of the mother, is the heart cells. Those are the first cells to start the development. The heart, that's what they're after now. So that's why all of everything is going on the way it's going on, because the condition of the programming is such that, hey, they pretty confident now. If you don't have it by now, you may not get it. However, the soulless ones may not get it, but those who have a soul will. So I'm like talking myself talking myself into hoarseness now. So I guess I will limit this for now. However, um, this is all about you, family of one source. And it's about, so we can't do what's been done. We can't look to get revenge. It's gonna happen. Things are gonna happen the way they're divinely set up to happen. This is not about you taking up arms or going to do, because it's not that kind of war. It's not that kind of fight. It actually is not your fight. To be honest with you, it's not my fight. You know, because what will transpire and how it will be adjudicated is beyond it. Actually, you'd have to be a ignoramus. It's like, you can't defeat Mother Nature. We are nature. All aspects of you are nature. Now your job, my job, you, me, we as one, the responsibility is get to your center. Get to your safe place. That's all you got to do. You ain't got to sell nothing. You ain't got to be. All you have to do is stand on your square. Get to your safe place, your center, or at least be moving in that direction. Because when it comes, it's going to come, what do you say, like a thief in the night. You ain't going to know when. However, if you're on the road and doing the right thing, you'll just be swept and taken right on where you were going. That much quicker. That's what this is all about now, family. And some know it. That's why it's frantic. So it's a frantic push to kind of make this thing happen in such a way to suck up, like the vortex. A vortex, if you spin a vortex, um, like black holes, suck everything in within a certain radius or a certain realm, because there's so much magnetism and so much power from the swirling and the circular centrifugal force, just automatically pulls you through. Well, that's what we're in. That's what we're doing. That's where we are now. And it's building. You know, it ain't just the days. Look, you know, the days are supposedly longer. but they're going by faster. I don't know about you, but we already in April. It just seemed like January was just yesterday. The new year, supposedly. Actually, we know the spring is the new year. But again, all of the stuff that's been done to kind of discourage and to knock you off your square will not work. Why? Because nature looks after its own. And everything is nature. So divinity has a process for everything, every little bitty thing, from the little to the high, to the biggest to the low. Everything. And so we all fall under it, in it. So there's processes upon processes, there's systems within systems, and we are part of the system, but the natural organic system. So we're protected. We don't really need protection. All we need to do is find and seek the source of that which is already, we already it. We just have to seek it with humility, with and don't resist. The minute you are afraid of your own shadow, you're resisting. The minute you turn away from that which you know, because a lot of things that happen, we know it, but then we second guess ourselves. That's a part of the process of um, the indoctrination and the intimidation and the fear and all of the considerations that we give to that which we've been conditionally programmed with. We consider it, which confuses us because we've not gotten comfortable with knowing just what the processes really are. So here we are with an opportunity. That's why I say great day. Every day is a great day. Some people think I'm saying have a great day. I'm just saying great day because every day is a great day. There's nothing to mourn. There's no reason to say that. For what? Everything has a vibrational frequency. And if you don't know that, then start paying attention. So I will, I guess I will do a few more things in depth, but my intention is not to try to do anything that will have you start to depend on me for, because you have to depend on you. This is not about what Avok can do and ooh, he's this or he's that. It's about what you can do when you remember. And so giving you techniques or trying to make you follow what I did, that becomes cultish. That becomes indoctrinations. That's not what we're about. We're not interested in people following, because we're all leaders unto ourselves. You have what, 30 some trillion cells that listens to your every word, that you have a vibrational charge and a frequency connection to. And if you're trying to do something that's not resonating within you, then you're living or moving in the shadows of a lie. And we don't want that. We're not trying to do anything that's going to cause you to look at anyone outside of yourself for anything. You can be inspired, yes. Everything is inspirational and can be used as such. because those are tools of inspiration. Anything and everything can be that. But the minute you try to mimic, that's the issue. So you don't need me to do breath exercises consistently, because your determination and your sincerity about it will bring you what it is you need to get from breath exercises. You don't need me to give you yoga positions, although there's a plethora of things out there. And then it's a question of how sincere you are and dedicated to really wanting to see what it does. You don't need me to give you Tai Chi or to show you, teach you. You don't need that, because at some point you'll be dependent on the person that is presenting something to you, and they should do this, and they said, and they supposed to. And you can get the keys or get the inspiration, and then start the research for yourself, because that's where the magic happens, when you start to uncover things for yourself. Nothing is hidden. Nothing is hidden. It's a question of how sincere you are about what it is you really want. And if you really want to know what you really are, there's so many um, opportunities that you can and have on a daily basis to experience knowing yourself. Walking barefoot, staying grounded, hugging trees, sun gazing. These are things that are, you know, I've heard white folks say, I've heard white folks say, oh, yeah, this guy was telling me how, you're gonna get, you can get cancer and all. That's his experience, not mine. That's not something that I need to concern myself with, because that's something he's concerning himself with. Again, trying to instill fear. Now he may have meant well. I'm not saying nothing, but he was less pigmented. He wasn't as melanated, but he may have meant well. But he's reciting and giving the age old um, um, stuff that's already, we know too very well, oh too very well. That's what the movies and the news and everything is set up to do, is keep you locked in, because you're needed. You're the God to them. For soulless ones, melanated beings are gods. To the soulless ones, melanated beings are gods. But for the melanated, we have to take it to the next level. We're divine. Our divinity is beyond anthropomorphic values and deities. A god is an anthropomorphic deity that someone has assigned an identity to, and has fashioned a story around how and why it exists and what it's for and how you're supposed to worship it. That's indoctrination. You don't. That's you know the, the, the your divine essence has nothing to do with that. And once your memory comes online, if it hasn't already done that, then you know better. It don't feel right. As a child, I'm 11, 12, 13, in the church asking questions and people get mad. Why you getting mad? I'm a child asking a question. And as a child, I was looking at that. Why, you innocent. You don't. So, but because they didn't know, and the ego wouldn't allow them to say, hey, look, son, I don't know. Let's find out together. Or something that's more loving and sincere and genuine. Their whole pretense was to get angry. Why get angry? Why get angry about something that um, is innocence? It's an innocent question. Well, don't question God. I'm questioning you. Well, God wrote the Bible. No, man wrote the Bible. And there was a reason behind it. But we have to be honest with ourselves and not play the game. We can play the game. First of all, let's just know that it is a game. However, we choose. You have to make the choice to play the game on whatever level you choose to play the game on. That's what the divinity in you, the divine ones, play the game to the extent of knowing they're playing the game. And you don't get caught up in the game. You play the game to enjoy it. You don't play the game to get caught up and be mad and find issues with everybody and now we can judge you based on the results and this and that. That's not how the game is played. It's about enjoyment. Finding yourself enjoying yourself within the realms of this particular game. And if it's not enjoyable, then stop playing. Stop dealing with that part of it that's not enjoyment and only do the part that's enjoyable to you. This is about knowing yourself and being you, all that you already are. Not wishing, hoping, not having faith, not trying to believe in something, but know it. That's where we are now. This is where we are now. It's not about these somebody telling you, and then if you don't, there's a penalty to pay. Divinity is not, you're not penalized for exploring and having adventures that you love, that's loving, that you care about, that makes you feel inspired. You don't get penalized for that. There's no penalty. What it is that's why you have to make sure um, you're doing things with your heart, sincerely, honestly. That's why you do it with the genuine authenticity and you're truthful within yourself. Then the penalty, if there is such a thing, comes back tenfold. It gives you back, reflects back to you that which you genuinely, sincerely have a desire for. Now, if all it is you want to do things to hurt people and find, that comes back to you. That's how this system works. This is not a system of reciprocity. You can do all the wrong you want, or what's perceived as wrong. You're going to magnetize yourself and reflect those types of things, whatever they are, on that level of frequency, and that's going to come back to you. It comes back. And it's going to come back stronger. Why? Because it generates energy. You've generated the energy. Send it out, and when it comes back, it's coming back with force. Why? Because you are the generator. You're the processor. You're the transmitter. You're the transducer. You are the all that is right now, being the all there is, um, as a fractal. The macro, the micro, the macro and the micro is one. The all there is being all there is, and we are ambassadors of that essence on a smaller scale. But we have all of the same attributes, all of the acumen that exists for the all that is. We just don't remember. You know, Atlantis, all of the Lemuria, all of the times and the places and the spaces that they speak of, with all of these great, wondrous things that were going on, it's in our DNA. We are them. We are them ones. And if we don't know it, some point you will, if you are not a soulless one. Everybody ain't gonna get it. And it ain't about a hierarchy. It's really about what your sincere, genuine, authentic desires are. And are they based, centered in truth? If they are, then you'll harmonize with the prevailing energies that's sweeping through. It's already happening. This is not coming. This is here. It's just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And at some point, you will not have to do any of the things that um, you got to do this every morning at 6. You got to do that. At some point, it's going to be automatic. Just like it was automatic for you to be afraid of yourself and to uh, keep fear in your heart. At some point, it's going to be automatic where you will no longer have fear and you will be encouraged and inspired. I'm good. This is it for me for now. All as one. My best is good enough. Peace, love, and light. This is Abok signing off for now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What I am, who I am is divine. What I am is divinity in motion.